What's up, everybody? It's CJ, and I'm back with another Sims 3 speed build, and today I'm gonna be building a house for JB. Now, at the time of me recording this video, the video that I'm gonna talk about is not out yet, but it will be out by time you see this video. Hopefully that makes sense. Either way, in the newest part of the Not So Berry Challenge, I mentioned that I kind of wanted to build JB and Dilbert a new house, but I was like, I don't really know, and I asked what y'all thought. And I'm just gonna assume, I'm gonna assume someone is like, yeah, CJ, you should do it. So I'm doing that today. I'm building them a house. Now, if you've not seen my Not So Berry Challenge, I'll leave a link to the playlist down below. I'm on the 8th generation, which is the Peach generation, and we're kind of working through it, so it won't be long before we're on Gen 9, and then Gen 10, and then we'll be done. Funny enough, y'all, I had not noticed until the other day, but I have been doing the Not So Berry for 3 years. That's a long time. So we're coming to the end of it. But like I said, I'm building a house for JB and Dilbert, and I just wanted them to have a nice house, y'all. So we're playing in a world called Plum Grove, and the way that I see it is more like a rural countryside world, you know, just small town vibes. And I wanted to kind of build a house that kind of like would fit in the area, but was also kind of nice. So I just Googled country home, because I didn't really have any ideas today. So I was like, let me just Google country home and I'll just see what pops up. And literally one of the first pictures I saw was this house, and I was like, bro, this house looks so nice. I was like, I could maybe try to replicate this in The Sims. The only thing that I was kind of worried about was the roof over the front entryway. I was like, how is that going to look good in The Sims? But when I actually like attempted it, it didn't even look that bad, honestly. Like, I'm kind of glad I went with this design because it looks pretty cool. I will say though, I did make some changes to the original home because for one, I didn't have any pictures of the interior, obviously, and the original home had like a dormer at the top of it. You'll see that I tried to put the dormer, but it didn't really look good. I mean, like, it could have worked, but I just feel like in The Sims, since we're on a grid, certain things just don't look good if it's not a certain width, you know? I'm also adding a fence. So like in the picture I saw, there was no fence, but I wanted to have a fence because y'all know I love a good fence in the game. And I was really having fun with trying to figure out what kind of landscaping to put, because like I knew that at first I wanted to use the plum tree object, but then I was like, I don't know. There's also a plum tree that's right beside our house. So I was like, maybe we could just use something different. I tried to make it work, but I just didn't like it. And it was too big for the space. So I was like, why don't we just use another tree? So I ended up using one of the ones from Into the Future, and then the other one is from Ambitions. And then I wanted to kind of have like a flower bed kind of thing. So I'm using a low-lying fence from the base game. You'll see me recolor this mulch and this dirt so many times. I couldn't settle on the way that I wanted it to look, so I kept changing stuff. I was layering it. It just was a whole process. I had to like pause, unpause the recording, test a bunch of different ones, but in the end I kind of just settled on some darker grass with some dirt. I thought maybe that would just look better. But yeah, like I said, I had a lot of fun with landscaping. I've been really trying, y'all, to improve on my landscaping game and just my outsides in general, just the exteriors. So I've really been liking the improvement these past couple of months. Hopefully y'all have been liking it too. I'm just having a lot of fun. Like, I don't know, I just love building. I always say this, but I genuinely love to build. It's just so fun. It's relaxing. I feel like I can kind of just turn my brain off and just kind of just go with the flow, you know? And this was certainly one of those builds, y'all, because you'll see when we get to the inside. Yeah. So another thing that I kind of wish I would have done was maybe push the house back a little bit, because I really wanted there to be a driveway with a car. I was able to move it with move objects, but the car is going to be right up to the house. So unfortunately, if that's an issue, you might have to rotate the parking space. But yeah, I feel like in the future, maybe I'll just like push it back a little bit. But as you can see, the outside is almost done. I wanted the outside to kind of be simple, basically kind of like the picture in a way. So I just went with a white paneling for the wallpaper. And then I'm also using a combination of different windows. So I'm using a lot of the ones from the Pets pack. But then I also had this other one. I can't remember the name of the set, but it's one of the sets from the Sims 3 store. I think it's like the pajama set, the lingerie set, I want to say. I could be wrong about that. But it comes with this window. And I was like, that would look perfect against the house. So I was like, why don't we use this today? Because a lot of times from the store content, a lot of the stuff I never really get a chance to use, or I'll use something from like a pack instead. But I was like, this window needs to be used today. So I used it for the front of the house. And then the other windows are just from the Pets pack. The door is from University. And then even like the columns out in front are from base game as well. Funny enough, y'all, I had to rebuild this house twice. So When I first built this house, I didn't put it on a platform, and then I realized that like when I was trying to do the front entryway, and I was just like, oh, so I had to bulldoze it, and I had to basically build it again. But this time it's on a platform, so your Sims can actually walk up the steps. But now we move on to the inside, and y'all, I'm curious to see what y'all gonna say in the comments about the house. So, again, if you don't know, JB is an imaginary friend. My heir for the Not So Berry for this gen, his name is Mo, and he had an imaginary friend, and we turned him real. And we moved him out. He's kind of just trying to gain independence, you know. He was doing like the athletic career, but then he switched to doing music. So I guess music is his new passion now. Funny enough, in the Not So Berry, him and Mo and another sim named Sid, they all formed a band together. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I feel like with JB, I kind of just see him as like a person who's just trying to find his way in the world. You know, he's been a toy all his life, or a doll, I guess, all his life, and he's just really just trying to see what's out there. You know, like he's just trying to experiment, do things, and just, you know, have nice experiences. So since this is mainly his house, I wanted to kind of like have it represent him. And I was trying to figure out what his favorite color was, so I had to go take him into Create a Sim, and his favorite color is red, y'all. Listen, I like the color red enough, but sometimes, you know, I feel like if it's too much red, the house ends up looking very Christmassy, and I did not want that for this house, so I went with the burgundy-ish color. It's still kind of red, but it's more like a muted, darker red color, because doing like a bright, vibrant red for this kind of house was going to be a no-go for me. It just wasn't going to happen, and I wanted this house to still have personality, so I was like, instead of making the walls white, we're just gonna just do burgundy, and it'll kind of fit the vibe. So you'll see that the vibe for this house is, half of it is kind of like rustic, the other half is like nerd core, I would say, or like comic book core, because if you don't know, my headcanon for JB is that he's into comics. He likes superheroes, he's into comic books, anything that's kind of nerdy, he likes it. So you'll see as we go, there's a lot of things that I used, but we start off by the front door. So I wanted him to have a little workspace. Originally this was going to be the living room, but then I wanted to have more space for extra seating and stuff, so I kind of moved the living room to the other side of the half wall. So over here it's just kind of like a little workspace. Dilbert does live with him, and Dilbert, if you don't know, was a sim, well, he is a sim in the Not So Berry. He was a lawyer sim that I had made, and I placed him down to help out. So Mo's dad's name was Pinky, so it was to help Pinky when he was going through some legal issues, and Dilbert just kind of stuck around. When I moved everyone to this world, I brought him along, and now him and JB are together. But Dilbert is also like really old, so I don't know how long he has to live, but I'm gonna let him and JB enjoy whatever time he has left together. And also, y'all, I have no idea where JB got all this money from, because like JB, when I moved him into his last house, he had starter home funds, and now he has like 54,000 simoleons or 52,000. It's 50 something thousand simoleons. So I don't know if when Dilbert moved in he brought his bag. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I just know they have a budget, so I was really just trying to stay within I was trying to stay within the budget for this build, and I'm actually kind of glad that we had a lot of money, because I was able to like use a lot of stuff. I don't think I went over the budget. I think I got close to 50,000, but I think the house is still like 48,000, maybe 49,000. Sometimes like stuff depreciates when you place it down, but the house is within their budget. So, but I kind of see like that little workspace as being like maybe Dilbert's area. Maybe he's like, because he's a lawyer, so maybe he's like, you know, taking on clients or just doing research or something like that. So I wanted to kind of give him his own little space. Next to where the little workspace is going to be a bathroom, but for some reason I kept skipping the bathroom until the end of the video, so I kind of just moved on to the kitchen next, and that's where we are right now. So as you can see, the kitchen isn't small, but it's also not really big either. It's kind of like its own little space. I wanted to have some really decent appliances in here, so I gave them a fridge, a good stove from the base game, and then I also gave them a coffee machine and a microwave. I was really trying to not put a lot of countertops above everything, because sometimes when you use a lot of counters and cabinets, you can kind of make a space just really busy, and I didn't really want to have that be the case this time, so I only used a couple in the corner. And then instead of using like the pots and pans that I normally use, I ended up using some shelving from the Generations pack, and then I used Move Objects to move them into each other, so it kind of looks like one shelf even though it's technically two. And then I was trying to find things to kind of put to kind of like decorate the space a little bit more, and then I came across these candy containers from Katy Perry Sweet Treats, which is kind of funny because I never really used Katy Perry Sweet Treats, but I feel like JB would definitely have something like this, because JB, if you don't know, his name is Jelly Bean, but we call him JB, and I feel like it's jelly beans in one of the containers, so I feel like he probably likes jelly beans, you know. So I gave him some little candy, and then around this time I was trying to like find things to really like give personality. So I used a base game couch. We have the splat rug, as I like to call it, from the Supernatural pack. And then I was like, why don't I give them some recliners? Because I feel like Dilbert will probably have a recliner, but I was like, why don't I just give them matching recliners? To me, these don't really look comfortable to sit on, but maybe they might be, you never know. And then I wanted to give them this little wavy table. It comes with late night, and if you look close, it does match with the TV, so like from the same set. So I gave them a cow print on the rug, and then for the chairs, I kind of went a little zany, y'all, I'm not gonna lie. Especially with the couch. The couch has like this tropical print. Listen, the way that I see it, JB is his true authentic self, okay? He likes what he likes. If he likes something, he's gonna have it. He's gonna wear it. He's gonna talk about it. He's just that kind of person. And I like that because, like, you know, we need more people like that, I feel like. So for him, as you can see, the recliners are kind of decent. Maybe like a retro design, but the couch is like tropical leaves with cow print. I know, y'all. I know. And then over here, I wanted to give him like a poster because he likes, you know, anime, comic books, all that kind of stuff, superheroes. So I gave him like this nice robot poster, and I wanted to have something in this area, so I gave him like a little dresser. And you'll see that I just go in and I just clutter up the space. So I was going to the university pack, and I saw that we have these like action figures and boxes. So I put one of those on the little dresser. I like to imagine him collecting things. Like he'll go to eBay or to different like stores, and he'll just like buy up stuff. Funny enough, there is a costume shop in town. It kind of sucks though, because imaginary friends can't buy the costumes, but you can take them into Creative Sim and just like dress them that way if you want. But now we move on to the bedrooms. Now at first this was going to be like a band room, but then I was like, the room is kind of small and it probably won't make a lot of sense to squeeze instruments in a small room. So I was like, why don't we make this into his, like, I guess playroom, his man cave? I don't really know what I want to call it. Maybe his lair. That sounds better. This is his superhero lair. There we go. So I used a lot of the objects from the movie stuff pack. We have this dresser. We have this table with like the little beepy lights. It's like a map of a city or something. And then I gave him the glove. I like to call it the Thanos glove, but it's just a glove. As you'll see, the wallpapers have this like star and planet design. And y'all, I wanted to use this object so bad. It's like a display of superhero costumes. I had nowhere to put it in this room without using move objects, and I didn't want to use move objects, so I wanted the door to kind of still work. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I moved it in the bedroom, and y'all, it is so huge. Do y'all ever use this object? I thought it was a dresser for the longest time, but it's not. It's just like decor. So do any of y'all ever use it for anything? Because I never do. Like, also, do any of y'all even have the movie stuff pack? Funny enough about the stuff pack, right? They never made a collection tab for it. So like, you know, like how with other packs you could just like sort by all the objects that come with the pack? For some reason, they just never did that with movie stuff. Movie stuff was the last stuff pack, so maybe they just, I don't know, maybe it was an oversight. But they never did it with that pack. So whenever I want to find something, I always have to like search almost every category just to find it, because like it's just hard to find stuff, you know? So yeah, let me know. Do you have movie stuff? And if you do you ever use that superhero display? Please let me know. But as you can see, his room is coming together. I made the lighting blue to kind of have like a cool little effect. I'm using some of those neon lights from Roaring Heights, which I quite like those. And then I found this like column object that comes from the Showtime pack, and I thought maybe I could put that in there too to kind of make it look more futuristic. So last but not least, we move on to the bedroom. Now, y'all, I had to fight the urge to give him this race car bed. I was going to give it to him, but I was like, CJ, this is a grown man. We need to like draw a line somewhere. So no race car bed, but he definitely would have one. So what I did was I gave him a bed from the base game, but I made the bed sheets have race cars on them. Okay, that was a nice compromise in my opinion, because like, if he was living here by himself, then sure. But I feel like Dilbert is like, listen, I'm an old man. I'm not sleeping in a race car bed. It's just not gonna happen. So that was a little compromise with them, but it's okay. It's fine. It still looks nice. I also gave them this really nice futuristic end table, and then I wanted to kind of squeeze in an actual dresser in here somewhere, so I did put one by the window, and I'm just cluttering it up with a bunch of like, you know, just figurines and plushies and stuff like that. Things that I feel like JB would like, you know? I also used this futuristic photo from Into the Future. It's of SimCity, and I was like, yeah, he would definitely have something like that in his room, so I put it up behind the bed, and then I also gave him some more of those like wall lights, just to kind of like have some more detail in here. I recolored these to blues just so they would look a little bit better amongst all the other objects. But that's basically everything for the bedroom. And then the only other room in the house is the bathroom. Now for the bathroom, I didn't really know how I wanted it to look. It was just gonna maybe be kind of generic at first, but then I came across the photo booth shower. and I was like, we have got to use this, y'all. I think it's Superman that like sometimes changes into his outfit from a phone booth. Am I right about that? So I feel like if anything, JB is like, oh, I can use this to change if I need to leap into action. But in the end, that's basically everything for the entire house. I really love the way this one turned out. You could definitely tell someone lives here. Okay, you could definitely tell. But if you want to download this house, I am going to leave a link to it down below. If you want to change some things, feel free, because like I know I know it's a lot, but I like it for JB. I really do. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, follow me over on Twitch where I stream a lot more of The Sims, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thanks for watching!